Is there anything in relation to the Gen Z kids? Is there anything that employers or anyone who owns a company, a business, what suggestion would you give them so they can understand what our kids are like?
Yeah,
Let's put it
I
like that.
think part of the problem is because it goes back to that, we were talking about women and men and how women kind of are perceived differently because they have to go get the
Mhm.
kid or whatever. And so they're somehow pigeonholed. Gen Z is very much getting that. It's they're lazy.
Yeah.
They are very strict about I work 8 to 4. I'm leaving at 4 o'clock because my schedule says 8 to 4. And that's again, that's something they've learned from us and went, I'm going to incorporate that balance in life. I'm going home. That's the end of my day. And so we take that as they're lazy. We take that as they don't want to be part of the team. We take that they aren't a part of the organization and they just want to move on. And it's those conversations that really create so much opportunity. It's sitting down and going, I know that officially you're 8 to 4, but again, they're looking for life balance. So maybe their schedule's better 11 to 7, right? Maybe that's better for them. And
Be
it
more
really doesn't
flexible.
hurt my business for them to work 11 to 7. All kinds of stuff's getting done for the next day or for a different team. And so having that conversation, it's not that they are rigid. It's not that they are lazy. They just approach the situation different. So it's even having the conversation. Yes, if I'm going to ask you to come in 2 hours early because we're going to have some kind of training that I need you here, I'm going to give you the flexibility to take that off earlier in the week. There's nothing wrong with that flexibility, but somehow in our Gen X boomer generations, we're like, oh,
Mhm.
that means you just put in 42 hours. Well, no, they're I pay you for 40. And really creating those conversations, A, helps you, but also helps them. And it grows the team because now the team's like, well, I'm in. Like they understand that's my approach. It's not that I'm lazy. It's not that I don't want to. But in the same direction, Gen Z gets really upset if they're like, I have this idea and they want to rush into your office and tell you about it right this second. You're like, I'm really busy. I've got this other thing that isn't even something they need to know what it is. They're not at the need to know part of this conversation. So you're like, well, write it up in an email. I'll look over it and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Well, a Gen Z is going to be completely offended that you're
Mm.
blowing them off, that you don't respect them, you don't want to hear their ideas. And in your mind, you're just trying to have the clear thought to be able to sit down and have a clear conversation to understand what they're saying. So it's even teaching Gen Z what that conversation is that says, okay, great. So I'm going to send that email with kind of my thought process and say, I'm available at this time, and this time. Then we'll talk about it. It's not a blow off. It's somehow how you have to manage the many things happening in your day.